So with that, we move on to ordinances for adoption, item 13. Ms. Brewer.
Thank you. Please bear with me. This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Carlsbad, California, approving a municipal code amendment and a zoning ordinance amendment to add indoor shooting ranges as a conditionally permitted use in the planned industrial PM zone and to establish development and operational standards for indoor shooting ranges.
And we do have one speaker, Mr. Bill Fowler.
I'm here to address the issue of why we should not have a shooting range in Carlsbad. And my objection is two words: San Bernardino. We know that the FBI has identified the Riverside Magnum Club, or I should say Magnum Range, as the locus of the conspiracy to kill Americans that resulted ultimately in a conspiracy, a successful conspiracy to kill 14 Americans. In addition, the range was also the locus of the illegal exchange of weapons to further that purpose. We don't want that kind of thing happening in Carlsbad, and there's no way to prevent it if the shooting range is there. We have to, if this is approved, and we don't do anything to mitigate the risks that are involved in a shooting range, then I think we're all responsible for what could possibly happen. So I would like and respectfully ask that this City Council, if they are of mind to approve this shooting range, that we establish some code items that would reduce the risk to the citizens of Carlsbad. And that would include, number one, every person who enters this city with the intent to discharge firearms within the city limits must register with the Carlsbad Police Department. And the Carlsbad Police Department would then query the no-fly list to make sure that these people are not terrorists or otherwise should not be in Carlsbad with a gun. And they would also run the names by the FBI. The second code item would be to require that anybody who rents a firearm from the gun range would have to go through the same process, background check that is required, the minimal background check required to buy the gun itself. And the third one is a particularly important one to me. No one shooting in the city of Carlsbad under the age of 18. I worked with a person when I lived here, I should say I still live here in Carlsbad, but when I worked here in Carlsbad, a friend of mine took his son to an outdoor range, and his son, in total tragic accident, shot my friend in the chest, and he died a short time later. And I think about that, and you know what? Old men like me and older men, we die. It's what happens. And sometimes it's tragic, and sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's the way life is. But the tragedy there was that child of 12 years old and is now an adult. And I guarantee you that every single day, that's a burden he has to weigh. Let's stop giving our children guns to shoot, and we can outlaw it here. And I think it's really something we can do. We can't do this to our children, give them guns, and have the possibility that they shoot their parents or a sibling or all the things that we all know that happen. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. We respect your comments. Any questions? Thank you. The attorney has titled the ordinance. Is there any comments? Motion?
Move adoption of item number 13, CS 290.
Second.
Please vote. Let the record show that item 13 passes unanimously.